Ash Noble, reporting in for duty. I think it's been a little bit of a while since we've done the last stream. I can't fully remember when it was, but we're back with some updates. We're back with another gig announcement and just some things in general. I think the last stream, it might have been on Tuesday. I think it might have been last Tuesday, but don't quote me on it. Um, so welcome back to another one. So like I say, we've got some updates. We've got a gig announcement. There's quite a few things that we're going to touch up on during the course of this. So we'll start off with the gig announcement, the what I'd say is the most exciting one, and most certainly an unexpected one. So usually when I announce these gigs to you, so when I come live and announce these gigs, normally I've known about these gigs for a long time. So sometimes I'll get, sometimes like booked for an event like 6 weeks before like there's any artwork or before there's anything that goes down. I will usually get booked for these events, so I've got usually a vague idea of what's popping off. I don't always know like the full extent of a lineup. I don't always know the full extent of what's going down. Sometimes I will. It just depends on. I suppose it depends on like my connection with promoters. So sometimes like if I'm quite good friends with a promoter, they'll text me and say, we want you for our next event, and there's going to be so and so headlining and this and that happening. And then sometimes I'll get a message about a booking. It'll just be, we want you for this date. Are you free? Got a little thing going on, and that'll literally be, about it. And as opposed to who else is playing and what else is going on, I won't have a Scooby Doo until the lineup comes out. And this new gig announcement was, it was definitely a shock. It was something that I didn't expect. So on the 30th of March, there's a family rave taking place in Skegness at the Hive, and they've got Club Filler headlining with MC Storm. They've also got Rob IYF and MC Motion and another couple of people that I just can't remember the name off the top of my brain. And essentially, myself, the layman, we have been added to this lineup, and we're going to be supplying kind of like a feel good sort of like Clubland set. So we're going to go in with like loads of Clubland anthems and loads of Clubland bangers. So Entrance, Set You Free, Ultra Beat, Pretty Green Eyes, DJ Sammy, Heaven. So sort of all the really sort of feel good sing-alongs. Ian Vandal, Castles in the Sky. Big ups to Ian Vandal. Loads of great tunes are going to be going off, and we've been booked and invited to be the ones to supply the tunes. So this booking was just one of those where, 1 minute do you wanna step in and do this, and then the next minute we're on this flyer, and it was just kind of crazy. It was something that I never expected. I'm 100% looking forward to it, and it's gonna go off. It's gonna go down. Should be really good. So I'm proper buzzed. I'm proper looking forward to things going down and taking place, and I'm just really blessed that I was even considered to be able to be the one to supply like a Clubland styled set, because I don't play them that often. Like I play a lot of bounce sets, and bounce sets that they're kind of similar to Clubland. They can be similar in some ways, and there is some like bounce remixes of like classic Clubland tracks, and I've been known to drop them in my sets. And Clubland is usually round 140 BPM to sort of 145, and bounce is kind of like 150 sort of up to 155. Some people play it at like 160, 165. I just think that's a little bit too fast personally. um, I always play mine I always play my bounce round 155. Just I always like to go a little bit faster. So like whatever genre I'm playing. So even if it's house, like I speed my house up to 130. If it's like trance, trance is usually like anywhere from 130. So I speed that up to sometimes 135 to 140. If it is like the club landy stuff, then I'll speed that up to 145, and like I say, bounce 155. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be really good. It's going to be really exciting. So let's just hope that it all goes well and everything goes as well as it can be expected. So that is Wild Child, family rave taking place at the Hive in Skegness, and that takes place on the 30th of March. Now, if you're scratching your head and you're wondering what the Hive is, you might know it for another popular event that takes place there, and it's an event called Havoc, and it's for me one of the best events that I have ever been to. So Havoc is it's a big rave event, and it takes place across all 5 floors in the Hive. So you've got like a hardcore room, you've got like a 90s room, you've got like a house room, you've got a drum and bass room, you've got a techno room. So there's about 5 different rooms spanning across 5 different floors, and they really do. They book some of the biggest and the best. So in the 90s room, they have people like Baby D singing live. They have people like Ian Van Dahl. They have sometimes people like Flip and Phil Entrance. They have sometimes have people like Ultra Beat. They get loads of people sort of singing live and performing and playing live like legends, sort of in our sort of dance scene. The hardcore room is always full of the hardcore goodness, the likes of sort of like Rob IYF. I know last year they had Club Filler. I think this year they've got Dougal. They have people like Psy. Loads of big names come and sort of play up on this event, and then they've got like drum and bass rooms, and they have people like Nicky Black Market. Loads of people, legends. I could go on naming people forever, but it's a legendary venue. We're taking over the top floor, which is usually where at Havoc the 90s room is, and that is where we are having the kids rave. That's where like the Wild Child sort of thing is taking place. So it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Really looking forward to it. Really buzzing for it. It should be a shed load of fun. So that is going to be all hopefully fine and dandy. Just been thinking about the set this afternoon actually. Just going through the basics when I'm sort of playing an event like there was a thing on Facebook the other week, and it was another DJ asking like, do DJs plan their sets? Like, do you plan your sets? Because I don't, and I sort of commented on it because I do to an extent sometimes. Like for certain events, I do plan sets because I kind of feel like I want to play something quite good, and I like to go over like music and stuff like that. 9 times out of 10, I don't always play what I planned. Sometimes I'll put a list together, and then I'll end up delving into other lists. But especially a big one for me, like when it comes to like bounce and stuff. If I'm playing a bounce set, like I always like to have a look at like what's new, or what new tracks do I actually want, because sometimes tracks will come out and I won't buy them because there isn't, like, I want them but there isn't always a reason sometimes to buy them, and sometimes like it can just save money, like if you don't necessarily get them. And then when it'll come to like, oh, I've got a book in here, yes, I definitely want to play that new tune that I saw. So sometimes I'll put a list together just so I can put like new tracks in them, and then like, like there's a new banger and I definitely want to play it, kind of thing. Then obviously, I know I've got it on the stick, kind of thing. So I do like to sometimes put a little something together. Sometimes I'll play some of what I've put together, and then I'll delve into like other playlists and things. But it all just varies. It depends how I'm feeling. Sometimes on the night I'm playing something, and then I think something different will um, fit into that better. So I do sort of more or less bring all my tunes, but I have some set lists as well, kind of thing. So I always like to just have a little bit of a play through some tracks and get sort of an idea for what I'm going to play. And then if I choose to change it on the day, I'll change it on the day. No hard do by for me in that sense. So, gig out the way. So I think I mentioned in the last one, I'd been invited to Scarborough to do some filming that is possibly going to go on the BBC, and the cutting the long story short, I was supposed to go last Tuesday, and if you remember last Tuesday, it absolutely hammered it down, and the rain was really bad, and the rain was even worse in Scarborough. So the people who wanted to film kind of texted me and said, look, it's absolutely, it's hammering it down. Do you want to reschedule, kind of thing? And I just kind of thought, you know what, yeah, let's reschedule, because they wanted to do some filming on the beach, believe it or not, and they wanted to do some filming in kind of like the town centre area as well. So it was kind of just made more sense to sort of reschedule. So we rescheduled, and at the moment, providing that the weather doesn't have our lives again, I know I absolutely hammered it down last night, which was, honestly, I was out last night doing a few bits with the layman, and it absolutely chucked it down. So weather providing, we're going to be filming tomorrow, so I'll be going over to Scarborough tomorrow, doing a little bit of filming, and then coming back and music lab with work. But yeah, weather providing, we're going to go tomorrow, and we're going to get this filming hopefully out of the way. So all I really know regarding the filming is the guy has filmed some stuff for the BBC in the past, so he's done some stuff for the BBC. They're filming a documentary that is going to go onto YouTube, but at the same time, there's a possibility of it going on to the BBC as well. And they're kind of filming it about different things that are going on sort of in our area, kind of thing, and like different sort of like people to look out for, I suppose, in our area. I don't know if that's really the right way to say it, but there's going to be all different things regarding sort of stuff in our area, so like East Yorkshire, all that kind of good stuff. And obviously, because of the TikToks, they kind of wanted to grab me for a little interview and stuff like that. So who knows? I'm gonna try and sort of not focus it on the TikToks too much. Like I'll mention them because they're a big thing, but I kind of want to say, well, look, we're doing some other things now. Them TikToks. The actual videos that were put on TikTok, them videos, it was recorded years ago. So I'm trying to sort of say, look, it's time to move on now. I want people who watch it just not to go back to them TikToks. I want them to kind of think, oh, well, he's doing other things now as well. And hopefully it kind of transpires that I can put a little bit of a spoke in about some of the other things that I'm doing as well, you know, besides obviously what blew up on TikTok. So I know like I'll have to mention the TikToks and like I'm alright with that, but I just want people to know that I'm doing more than just them TikToks, if that makes sense. Um, so yeah, another thing, I probably should have mentioned it before the filming really. We released a track this morning, so myself and the Layman, we a couple of years ago, we did a hip hop track about knife crime, and we rose awareness for knife crime, and the track did really well. It got picked up by knife campaigns. It got taken around schools. It was shown to kids, and we've even had the privilege of performing the knife track at a couple of like venues and concerts, work concerts, and we even went down to Kettering and performed the track at like an outdoor festival, with part of a knife campaign that the festival was kind of raising money for at the time, and it did really well and it did really good, and there's always knife crime happening and things to make awareness about. So sort of after that, it was kind of like, well, where do we go next? And I wrote something years ago that I never really fully ever did anything with. And I wrote a track about bullying because as a kid I was suffered, unfortunately, very heavily with bullying, to the point where it was really bad at one point. And I'd wrote these lyrics and I'd never really properly ever done anything with them, and I didn't even like some of the lyrics I'd wrote, so we sort of revisited the idea and we revamped the whole entire sort of like lyrics, and we found a completely different backing beat for it, and we even added like another verse in from the layman, and we just went ahead and did this bullying rap, and we've been working on it for months, and we finally put a lyric video out for it yesterday. So the first time anybody, apart from a few people, I performed the when I first, before Layman had even added his verse, I performed what I'd done at a work thing just to kind of get a reaction. So people at the work thing, they heard it. They was like, yes, you need to release this. So now we've got it to the point where we're ready to do that, and we've put this lyric video together, and the lyric video's gone out on Facebook. It's gone out on the Layman Productions YouTube. It's going on to TikTok. It's gonna go everywhere. With Layman Productions, it's hopefully gonna go to some bullying campaigns as well, and it's really good. It's really positive, and all the lyrics are truthful as well. So myself and the Layman, we were both bullied as kids, so we're both sort of speaking from kind of sort of going through the similar things ourselves. But in the track, Layman participates and plays the part of the bully. So he's kind of the bully that's kind of heard my parts of the song, and then he's kind of like come back all these years later, and in a way he's kind of like apologising, and what he's spitting is kind of like a letter. So imagine you're reading a letter out, that's kind of what he's spitting, and he's apologising for like the hell that he put me through, kind of thing. So it's a really good positive track. We put it out this morning, really good. So hopefully it's just going to keep climbing. We're going to keep sharing it. We're going to keep trying pushing it to as many sort of like different levels and sort of as many different places that we can, and hopefully we're able to sort of succeed. So that is obviously a really really good thing, and really good, really positive, and I can't wait to see what the effects of it is, and hopefully we can help people who are maybe going through bullying themselves, and sort of encourage them to speak up, and also maybe to for bullies to listen to it and realise that what they're doing is not nice, and essentially to stop what they're doing, kind of thing, and say, look, actually I'm being a horrible person here, and I'm making this other person's life hell, because when I was going into year 7 into secondary school, that was when bullying hit its worst for me. So I've always kind of had it like through my life. It's always been people, just the odd name calling, and somewhat when I was in infant school, the guy used to kick me in the legs and stuff, and that sort of quickly came to an end, because it was just it was bruises on my leg, kind of thing. And it was a little bit, you're a little bit, and it's harder to hide it back then. But then when we got into like junior school, there was like little odd bits of it, but nothing that really, really affected me. And then sort of going into kind of like secondary school was when it kind of like really started, and I was having people were like stabbing compasses into me. They were throwing my shoes into the shower, name calling, pinning me up against the wall, sort of kicking me, rugby tackling me to the ground, just name calling after name calling, and it got to obviously like a really bad point. So sort of like the rap sort of speaks from going through like the subject myself, and kind of the track for me and what I wrote was sort of asking the bully all these years later the reason why, that why did you make my life hell. So it's a really positive sort of track, but it kind of tackles a subject, so it's got like a positive message in it, but it's definitely quite a sort of, in some sense, it is kind of like a sad, depressive song at the same time, where people will listen and it might make people feel emotional, and it might just, like I say, it might just do things to people that other tracks don't do. But we're really happy sort of with the outcome of it, so we're just gonna sort of see how it grows, how it sort of rises. So yeah, so also on to music making. I have also been working on another track that I am really, really proud of. This is kind of like back to sort of like electronic dance music, if you like. This is not kind of like rapping and hip hop and tackling subjects. This is, me getting on FL Studio and making the next beat. So, for those of you who may or may not know, part of my youth music facilitator role is I run a studio session on a Thursday at the Kingston Youth Centre, and it's a free studio session. People can book in for free, and people can essentially get like free studio time. So, obviously, it's every Thursday, like I said, and sometimes, well, all of the time, when I get out of work, like the normal work office on a Thursday, so the session doesn't start well 6. I get out of work at 4. There is like literally no point in me going home, because like by the time I get home, like I'd be probably at home for like 10 minutes, and then I'd like have to come back out and walk, and to go home I'd walk past the youth centre and the studio anyway, and it just makes sense for me that I might as well just go straight there. So I've been going straight to the youth centre, and I can get to the youth centre for probably about sort of 10 past, quarter past 4. So that gives me just under 2 hours to work on something of my own, kind of thing. Now, what you've got to understand is it's a music studio, so it's a proper soundproofed room. It's not like making something in your bedroom where you've got to think of like neighbours and other people, and you can go in there and you can crank it up and you can really work on something. So that is obviously exactly what I've been doing, and at this time I've gone to tackle a completely different genre of music, so not making a bounce tune, and I've been grafting away, and I've not been showing anybody, I've not done any teasers or any samples. It's been hidden away on the computer in the music studio, and when I've had free time, I've been in there, I've just loaded it up and just done some work on it. And sometimes there's been studio sessions where nobody's booked in, so I've been in there on my own for the foreseeable 2 hours of the studio session as well, where I've really cracked on. So I finally decided when the layman came to the studio last Thursday that I was going to reveal what I'd been working on to him. Kind of. I was kind of working on it, and then he kind of walked in, and and then I was kind of like, well, you know what? Do you want to listen to it, kind of thing? And he fell in love with it, and he said it's one of the best things that I've ever written, as kind of like studio and making beats and stuff like that. And he loved all the elements, he loved all the sounds, and we sort of decided, let's come up with a vocal idea for it. And we decided it's a trance tune, by the way. So we decided to go for one of them, sort of kind of like not necessarily singing or rapping, but kind of like where you would kind of get like a poem. So kind of like if you picture songs like Faithless, or you picture like I'm just trying to think, the movie The Human Traffic, and you've got them like speeches, and it goes, like this is where it all began. Me, my best fucking mates, and the music. Them kind of things, but kind of like not like that as such, like say obviously saying our own thing. And we've done this kind of like spiritual, euphoric. It goes into a really nice euphoric breakdown, does the track. And we've kind of gone like, this is where it all, sort of, are we out of our minds, kind of thing, taking our souls to different places. And we've come up with, it's just turned into this absolute tune that we've called Goddard. And I won't go into too much why we called it Goddard, because there's a little bit of a story behind it, but I don't want to reveal the story just yet, so we're going to kind of leave that for now. But it's called Goddard, and it's a really uplifting, euphoric trance track, and it just sounds really good. It can really make you sort of just listen, and it's got a really good vibe to it, and I'm proper buzzed with how it's sounding. I'm proper buzzed with the outcome of it as well. So that will be coming sometime soon. We've got just a few adjustments to make on the vocal, and then we'll just kind of take it from there, and just sort of see how it goes and stuff like that. But yeah, we've just got a few little tweaks to do upon the vocals, and obviously we're still promoting the bullying track at the moment, but the Goddard is coming. I'm happy to say it's coming, and it's the first time I've written something on FL Studio that has been like completely original, and it's not been like a bootleg or a remix of something. So I'm like really proud of it. I mean, I can't obviously 100% confirm that someone hasn't used like the same chord progression before, like they might have done, but like I haven't like physically gone and remixed a specific track. I've just kind of, let's make a D chord, and let's make something in D chord. But I could have made a chord that somebody has made before, but you just can't help that. You've got four to the floor. There's only so many chords you can make without kind of the same thing. So obviously apart from that, it's obviously it's as original as obviously it's as original as it can be, and I'm buzzed. So I'm proper sort of excited, if you like. And finally, I'll touch up upon Grooving Sounds. So obviously Grooving Sounds launched a couple of weeks ago. On Friday, the next batch of releases came out. They all went up on the store. They all kind of went fine and dandy. And I have some good news regarding Grooving Sounds. And the good news is that we are going to have an app. So we're going to have an app that you can download off of the Google Play Store, which is really kind of unexpected. Really unexpected. Um, I thought of this idea the other day, and I thought, like, I wonder how we would get an app. Like, just I wonder how we'd get an app. So I had a little look on YouTube, how to make an app for your website. Didn't really find anything that was really interested or helping me out with what I wanted. So I followed up and messaged my kind of like website guy and said, just out of curiosity, like, how would we get an app for Grooving Sounds? Next minute, he knows, and he's kind of like, oh well, it's all about this, sort of like writing this code in and doing this, and it kind of went over my head to an extent. And then next minute, I'll I'll start putting a demo app together on over the weekend. So I thought, Jesus Christ, all right. Left it at that. No more was said. Message yesterday. Click this link. You can download this demo app. Downloads a demo app, and it downloads an app onto my phone. And surely it's a Grooving Sounds app, and everything that's on the website is on the app. So like you can listen to the latest releases, you can play the radio. It is just literally like the website, but you just click on the app. Just blew my mind that I was just being curious about 3 or 4 days ago, and now I can physically click on an app on my phone, and it will load the Grooving Sounds website. Like, it's just crazy. So there's some tweaks and stuff to make apparently, but we can have an app. So I was kind of like, wow, that is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So there we go. So Grooving Sounds will have its own app at some point, which is quite exciting because a lot of people, they use apps more than websites nowadays, don't they? So it's obviously something that will be good for us. People can just download an app and they can just go straight to the app, and they can check for all the latest releases and all the latest news and stuff, and they can listen to the radio. And what's good about the radio is listening to it on the app is that you can lock your phone, so you can put your phone in your pocket. You can be walking to work or travelling to wherever, and the radio can just be playing in your headphones. You haven't got to leave your phone sort of like turned on, and you can have it locked. So you haven't got to leave the screen on, and you haven't got to physically be on the website. You can just have it in the app, and you can just lock your screen, or you can go back to like Facebook or something while it's still playing, and you haven't got to worry, and it's just really good. So that will be coming very soon. So Grooving Sounds is definitely it's on the up, and it's really good. We also have a what's on page on our website, so we kind of put like sort of like what's coming soon kind of thing, and if there's any like little bits of like news to report, then obviously um, that will obviously be the case, and we'll put it all on there. So there we go. Lots of things to announce. Wild Child, bullying tracks, original music, grooving sounds, loads of stuff happening, loads of stuff popping off. So make sure to like, make sure to comment, share. See you soon.